What's going on, Buffs Nation? It's David here again, talking CU Buffs football, Coach Prime Deion Sanders, and everything in between. Today, we're going to discuss a little bit about the current state of the 2023 football roster that Coach Prime has put together for the Buffaloes. And with the transfer portal reopening here in May for a couple of weeks, are there still positions of need, or positions that are of need, rather, that we still need to address? Now, I appreciate you checking out my video. Again, I want to know your thoughts on the current roster. Who do you think we should look to add into the spring, over the summer? Let me know in the comments. Again, appreciate any engagement. Helps push it out to everybody else who's interested in Coach Prime and the Buffaloes here on YouTube. So, on our way to 1,000 subscribers. If you like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button. We're building something special here, but let's go ahead and get back into it. Now, when we're looking at this roster, right now, I really only think the position group that's probably locked up and okay, where I feel amazing about right now going into the season, is the secondary. I think we do have some players returning, such as Trevor Woods or Nico Reed. And then we've brought in a handful of transfers at cornerback and safety. And then we know that Shiloh will also be joining as a graduate transfer. And so that kind of goes into how I already feel about the secondary, knowing that he's coming as well. And so I feel like we have an insane amount of depth right there. I still wouldn't be surprised if we add another cornerback. I think Coach Prime wants to make that the deepest position on the team. And you can never have too many talented players at that position, especially in the Pac-12. However, some people might think that the wide receiver group is something that is okay here from now on. I don't know. I think I would still like to see some more depth. Now, of course, we have guys such as Jordan Tyson and Montana Lamonius Craig. Check out the highlight tapes I put together here on my channel of them if you aren't familiar with their game and kind of how they perform. They're very solid players. And then, of course, we got Jimmy Horn, Xavier Weaver. We have Travis Hunter coming in. Now, I want to know, especially Jackson State fans, I've had some people chiming in the comments saying how Travis, of course, was a part-time player at wide receiver. We should expect him to still be a full-time cornerback. And I think that's fair, and I think that should be the expectation going into the season. However, if he is serious about making a Heisman campaign, he's going to have to be on the field all the time. So I would love to see him full-time at wide receiver as well, but I know that's probably a little bit of wishful thinking. But the reason I bring up Jackson State is because, okay, let's say Travis is only playing 8 to 10 snaps at wide receiver a game. Why not bring in Shane Hooks? Again, he had, I think, close to 700 yards last year at Jackson State, had a fourth of Shedeur Sanders' passing touchdowns. I think it was 40, which was 40, which means he had 10. Yeah, 64 receptions, 748 yards, 10 touchdowns. That's 11.7 yards per catch. That's fantastic. He would be a graduate transfer just like Shiloh Sanders is. So I want to know, do you think the Buffs should still be adding some more receivers? Of course, we got guys like Asad Wasim. We have Adam Hopkins. I know I'm missing some right now, just naming them off of the top of my head. But overall, I think that that's also a position where you can never have too many guys that are just ready to go. Now, when we're looking at the transfer portal with guys that are currently in that are still available, some guys that I'm interested in, of course, are Marquise Robinson, defensive lineman from Auburn, hasn't got much play time. But again, when you can grab some defensive linemen from the SEC right now, that's going to make a big difference in a conference like the Pac-12. Another position that I'm a little worried about right now is quarterback, backup quarterback. Now, I know that some Buffs fans feel okay with Drew Carter right now as the number 2, or maybe Ryan Stauber, Kason Wiseman's able to win that role as a freshman. I would rather not be taking that chance. I would love to have somebody a little bit more experienced, possibly Chance Nolan, come in. But, I mean, again, I think he's more of a pro-style quarterback. Didn't really have that great of a year last year at Oregon State. So I don't really know if you're much better off with him than you are Drew Carter, but hopefully we see some more quarterbacks enter the portal here in May and want to come play for Sean Lewis and Coach Deion Sanders. So we'll see about that. Another position, of course, that I think the Buffs still need to get deeper at is offensive line. I do want to put out a video on the Sean Lewis offense, of course. I know that we've had that requested by some people in the comments. And I think in order to, of course, be able to run the ball, you're going to need a dominant offensive line. And I still think we need more depth there. Bray Walker's a guy from Oklahoma that entered the transfer portal. OU fans or any Big 12 fans watching this video, I'd love to know a little bit more about what your take is on Bray Walker. But he has one more year of eligibility left. Could he fight and secure one of these starting lineman spots at CU? Quite possibly. So he could play interior line. So we'll just have to see. But I want to know in the comments what you think. Of course, I think another position of need right now is linebacker. Again, I think it's probably the most unsure position group or uncertain position group right now. But right now, it doesn't really seem like there's many guys in the transfer portal at the linebacker position that could come in and make a difference above the guys that we have right now. So I want to know in the comments what you think. Again, thank you so much for checking out my video. We're building something special here. We're on our way to 1,000. Let me know, who do you want to see Coach Prime add this spring going into the 2023 season? Appreciate you checking out my video, and Sco Buffs.